It's a big day for one of South Africa's leading sporting codes, and now I get to be part of the team that officially brings you this massive announcement. It's a big step made for the development of the sport. I am right now out in Rosebank in Johannesburg to bring you this announcement, and I'm joined by Sergio Vieira, who is the Vice President of Franchise Operations out at Coca Cola South Africa. I'm sure our viewers are now asking themselves, what is Coca Cola South Africa doing that has to do with sport? Alongside him, we are joined by Mr. Mark Alexandra, who is the President of the South African Rugby Union. But first up, Mr. Vieira, let's start with you. Talk to us about today's a very big day. We mentioned that it's a big moment for one of South Africa's leading sporting codes, where we've seen the players lead from the front time and time again. As Coca Cola South Africa, what is this big announcement that you're making here today?
We are very happy to announce that Coca-Cola is back as a major sponsor of the South Africa Rugby. After a few years that we were not there, we are back on. We are celebrating 30 years since the first time that we sponsored the World Cup winner team, and we are back sponsoring South Africa Rugby. So we are extremely proud and happy of being part of the team again.
All right, so South Africa, that's the breaking news. Coca Cola South Africa backing the Springboks, one of the best clubs in the history. Mr. Mark, let's talk about what this means for South African rugby, this partnership that you pick up once again. It's a long friendship you've had with Coca Cola, and now you're saying, welcome back, my old friend. What does this mean for you, Saru?
I think we at South African Rugby are excited to have Coca Cola back in the fold. You know, we got a relation stretching more than 2 decades with each other, and we're happy that they're back. It's a very important brand. They're a strong international brand, like the Springboks is a strong international brand, and I think together, you know, we have the ability to bring people together like nothing else can.
Absolutely. We've seen the Springboks really bring the South African nation together. So, Sergio, we speak about how this has been a long-standing partnership and friendship. It did take a break, and now we're picking up where we left off. From a Coca-Cola point of view, perhaps speak to us about what influenced this decision.
Look, most importantly, we have common values to share. Right, so South Africa Rugby and Coca-Cola, we stand for similar things. We stand for optimism, unity, and so many beautiful values, and we want to make sure that we bring this to life in this partnership. So we are not only sponsoring the major team, we are also sponsoring the women's team, we are sponsoring the youth team. So this is very important for us because we want to influence the sport and we want to influence the values that the sport is bringing to the people.
Indeed, and maybe we can dig a little bit deeper into that, President, because Sergio here mentions that it's not just the Springboks that will be sponsored here, it's also the women's team, it's also the youth team. Speak to us about what the partnership then looks like practically when we move into action.
I think if one looks across the brands, before we used to have a different sponsor on the back of our shorts for the Springbok team, and then you have for the women's team a different sponsor and the sevens team. Now we got uniformity, we got the brand, the brand that has the same value system as us across our brands, and it's important that we do it across our brands. And all our sponsorship now will not just be with the Springboks, across the brands, because that's our elite development continuum, and it speaks to what we stand for, and we're proud to have Coca-Cola back in the fold.
And President, what does that then mean for the kit of the different national teams that you mentioned now at the moment, with Coca-Cola coming back on board? Does that affect the look and the makeup of the kits?
I think, you know, it doesn't. You know, Coca-Cola is a big international brand. You know, we're international. We are world champions, and for world champions, you want a top international brand backing you. And our value system is the same. So for us, it's very important having Coca-Cola back and a strong international brand like Coke.
And will we, though, Sergio, be seeing the Coca-Cola branding anywhere on the Springboks kit moving forward? Because I heard a little birdie tell me that it may be on the shorts moving forward.
Yeah, we are going to be on the shorts of the teams, and we are very proud of being visible in the uniform, as this encapsulates a lot of the values that we want to drive with the teams, of the fighting spirit, of the optimism, of the unity of the nation there, in the moment where the fight is really happening, right? So the shorts are a little bit of this, where the fight is really happening. So we are extremely proud of it, and we want to make this partnership huge for both of us, and really bringing the Springboks spirit not only for South Africa but for the world.
Not only for South Africa, but for the world. But we do know that South Africa are, of course, the world champions. Perhaps then, Mr. Alexandra, putting you a little bit on the spot, can we at this moment speak to how long this partnership will be going on for?
I think this is a 4-year partnership from World Cup to World Cup, and I think, it's important for us to have strong brands. We believe, we want the last 2 World Cups, and I think we stand a better chance this time around. We've got a strong player pool, and with that strong player pool, you need an organization to back them. And with Coca-Cola's backing, I'm sure we will have victory again in 2027.
We are all crossing fingers as South Africans, because if you look at my jersey now, obviously I got this one before the World Cup, so there's definitely 1 year missing on there, but we're looking forward to seeing 2027 also go down there. Sergio, finally, as I just begin to wrap up with you for now, what is the big takeaway message that you want South Africans at home that are watching right now to take away from this announcement, from this partnership, from you looking forward to the next 4 years with the South African Rugby Union?
Look, I think that the most important message for me is that Coca-Cola is a brand that is here to stay, right? So we are in South Africa for 96 years. So we are targeting to have this partnership going to the most important year as we are going to be turning 100 years in the continent and in the country. And we are here also for 30 years because we left and we came back after the apartheid. So it's for us, it's like a double celebration. To be part of the Springboks encapsulates all this history that we have in the continent and in the country of South Africa. So the message is about optimism, is about partnership, is about really going one more step together as a brand and the country.
And can we talk money? Yes, no?
I don't think so.
No, we're not going to talk about it yet, but we do know that this is a partnership that will be in force and effect for the next 4 years. And from you, Mr. Mark Alexandra, the president of the South African Rugby Union, congratulations for ensuring that this sponsorship and this partnership is signed, sealed and delivered. I know you look like such a soft-spoken man, but I'm sure you're a very hard negotiator in the boardroom. For you, for the South African fans watching at home right now, what is the big takeaway from today?
Firstly, I want to thank Coca-Cola for coming to join our corporate partners. But I want to thank all the South Africans who come out year in and year out and support the Springboks and support the South African brand. And I think we're in a place now where we got a player pool that is unbelievable. If one looks at our organization, it represents the demographics of our country, and we really speak to what our country stands for. And if there's one sport that brings people together, it's rugby and Coca-Cola.
Oh, no DNA, just RSA. That's what we talk about in South Africa. And we know how much pride the Springboks have brought to South Africans, wearing that green and gold with so much pride, honor and dignity. And now there's a new partnership in place, which doesn't just involve the Springboks, but it goes across to the youth team, to the women's team, because Coca-Cola wants to make a lasting impact in South African rugby.